Time now for our rants and raves, starting with Dan.
So I have a rant for Chuck Todd and NBC's Meet the Press during a conversation about Attorney General William Barr and how the Justice Department has handled the case of Michael Flynn, the former national security advisor. Todd threw to a clip of an interview with Barr. It was an interview conducted by CBS, and how he framed that clip turned out to be inaccurate. Take a listen.
I want you to listen to this Bill Barr answer to a question about what will history say about this. Wait till you hear this answer. Take a listen.
When history looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history.
I was struck, Peggy, by the cynicism of the answer.
Yes, cynicism of the answer, but in fact, that was not. There was no cynicism there because as that soundbite played out, Barr goes on to expand his thoughts on this very same issue, and it was exactly what Chuck Todd says was lacking.
Yeah, and he did apologize for it. All right.
Yeah, he did. He did apologize, but I think it plays into that overall narrative from people that the news is out there and twisting things for their own agenda. All
right, Adam, what do you got?
Well, this is Dan's rant was a perfect springboard for mine. I'm raving about a guy named Kevin Vesey. He is a reporter at, I want to make sure I get this right, News 12 Long Island. He went to a reopen Long Island protest and documented some of the abuse that was directed his way. I think we have a little clip.
It's go home, you fake news. Go home.
You're destroying something in Long Island. You are the enemy of the people.
You're supposed to be unbiased. You're not unbiased. You let so much crap fly on your Facebook page. It's disgusting. You're disgusting. You're the virus.
Fake news is not essential. Fake news is not essential. Fake news is not essential.
So it goes on for about a minute and a half. It gets uglier at certain points. And I think it is a reminder of, on the one hand, the animosity the president has stoked repeatedly toward the press. You heard the phrase enemy of the people regurgitated there. But also what Dan was just talking about how it's absolutely essential in this climate that we dot all the I's and cross the T's.
That is shocking. Unbelievable.
Really bad.
All right.
Really nasty.
Really. Joanna, what do you got?
So I have a rave for my favorite social media trend of the pandemic. I would call it the cultural exchange. Over the last few weeks, I have really enjoyed watching and reading other people's recommendations for books and movies and television shows and records, albums. It's funny. Usually when somebody sends me anything that looks like a chainmail, I go running in the other direction. I, in the last week or so, answered a call for something called the Album Challenge on Facebook. You're supposed to post one album cover a day representing an album that influenced your musical taste. I noticed that our Beat the Press friend Dan Kennedy had done the same thing. We had some separate choices. A little bit of I think he picked Bob Dylan. I had Prince, but the fact that he picked Lyle Lovett and I picked Lucinda Williams shows that we can find some common ground. Anyway, it's just nice to know that social media isn't just for political rants and viral misinformation right now. It's actually been a nice way to bring people together, have a little bit of personal exchange and together.
I didn't dare, add my album choices in there. I thought they'd be too odd.
I want to know.
No. All right. Well, finally tonight, I have a rave for Channel 5 WCBB outgoing general manager Bill Fine. He was in sales and he was head of sales. He is only the fourth general manager in the history of Channel 5. Bob Bennett, Jim Coppersmith, Paul LaCamera, now Bill Fine, who's been there the longest of all of them. And I should say that the station has just done fabulously under him. The news department is as strong as it's ever been. And I want to give a particular shout out to their coverage of late about COVID-19, the work they've been doing about the nursing home, the disgrace inside the nursing home with Kathy Kern and Mike Bodette has just been spectacular. So it's good to see that tradition continues. Bill Fine, we hope to talk to you in person sometime later in the month after you depart the station.